your name?
It's Keela Elaine.
And what do you do?
I play Stacy in the film, in the movie Healed.
What are you healing from, healed of, or in the process of?
I'm in the process of healing. I'm on the healing journey.
What are you healing from?
Oof. My divorce.
How long you been divorced?
A year and a half, maybe.
How long were you married?
We were married for 9 years. We've been together for 14. Well, we were together for 14.
You're healing. What are you healing from? The divorce? The fact that you are divorced? The fact that you got married and divorced? What is it? Yeah, be clear with me. Just talk it out.
I think it's all of that.
All that.
I don't think anybody ever gets married to get divorced. People ask you, I don't see how some people are happy about getting divorced. And I guess I can see it. If you were in an abusive relationship, if you were, everybody has a different definitions. To me, my definition of divorce felt like death. It's like a death. You grieve the memories, not necessarily the person.
What was it that caused the divorce?
A lot of things. A lot of things.
Did you initiate the divorce?
I did.
Talk about it. What was it that led you to that point?
A lot of things. I feel like I could have went about it in a better way. But I didn't. So yeah, I did.
What was it? What was it that tipped you over and made you say, I'm done?
I just wanted better. I wanted more. So it was a little bit of it was the people's opinions. It was just a mess. It got messy in the end. And yeah.
Let's back up. How long had you been nurturing the idea of marriage? When did you realize that one day you were going to get married and you wanted that?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I've ever wanted to be. I don't think I ever wanted to be. I think I entertained the idea. I never really thought I was like, oh, let me have this dramatic wedding. Let me have the dress. I don't think I ever did.
What was it about him that made you say yes?
Oh, that's a lot. I was a single parent. And I had my son. And my son was 2 at the time. And I just wanted somebody to love me. I didn't care. I seen a lot of red flags. But I ignored them all. Because I said, I just want somebody to love me. I just needed somebody to love me. And the crazy part is, I grew up in church. And I have the best parents in the world. So it's not like I wasn't getting love. But something inside of me was not being fulfilled. And I just wanted somebody to love me. And he gave me a loan, and I knew I shouldn't have because he had just got out of a relationship. And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. I can change you. I can love you. Let me love you. Let me love you. So, yeah.
What was the red flag? One red flag?
That he had just got out of a relationship.
Give me another one.
It was the hiding of stuff. I would have to, when it came down to his kids, which I love, those are my babies. Those are my babies. Like, those are my babies. And I remember I would have to either stay in the car when he went to go see his kids or not be around. And that made things worse. But I loved him through it.
When did you realize that you needed healing?
The moment that it was several moments. And I knew I needed help. When my kids, when Jacob and Morgan, when I see my kids cry for me, one day I just got in an argument with my ex-husband and I got in the car. And my son begged my aunt. He was like, Aunt, please don't let her go. Like, please. And I didn't care. I didn't want to be a mom anymore. I didn't want to be around anybody anymore. I just wanted the pain to stop.
So you wanted the pain to stop. What were your thoughts? How do you stop the pain at that moment?
I didn't know how to stop the pain. I lived in shame. Shame and guilt. Because I became somebody I wasn't. I was angry. I became the abuser. In the end, I would think terrible things, terrible thoughts. And I just became this person that just hid in a shell. I cut off social media for almost 2 years. I would go to church because I was still in church. Teaching, all this other stuff. And it's just like, I didn't feel good enough. And I felt like everybody knew because he had told everybody what I did.
What did you do?
He had told everybody I wrote certain letters. I just felt like everybody hated me because his dad died a couple of months after I left. So not only did your dad, your wife left you. And I feel like everybody hated me for that. And so it wasn't until one Sunday at church, my sister Sharon, she always taught me about, it was one Sunday, my Aunt Faye, and I was at church and I had my head down. And I remember going into the bathroom and my Aunt Faye was like, keep your head up. She was like, raise your head. She was like, nobody hates you. Nobody's mad at you. We love you and we're here for you. And ever since then, like all my aunts, like my Aunt Faye, Uncle Nate, my Aunt Kathy, my parents, Sharon, Yona, and Yazzie, like, it's those people that were like, God's not mad at you. You made a mistake. That's it.
So part of your pain was believing that you had violated God's law or something?
Part of my pain was not only did I leave, because I felt like I didn't deserve better. I felt like I had to stay and keep putting up with nonsense that I knew wasn't right. All for somebody to love me when I didn't even love myself. I'm 30-some years old and didn't even love myself enough to be like, this is enough.
How does tomorrow look for you? How does it look tomorrow in regards to your healing? How do you go from day to day in this journey?
One day at a time. One day at a time. Because I know I am healing. I've came too far from where I was. So I know most definitely I'm healing. So I knew I started healing the moment that I no longer needed to explain my side of the story. When I no longer have to be like, hey, no, this is what really happened. You don't know this side of the story. Who cares? Who cares? Believe what you want to believe. Think what you want to think about me. At this point, I don't care. And that's how I knew I started healing, when I no longer had to explain my side. I love him and I wish him well. I hope he succeeds in every endeavor of his life. It's no love lost. I don't hate that man at all because he's my daughter's father. That's it.
Do you feel like you're worthy of being loved?
Absolutely. Now I do.
You do.
Now I do.
So you love yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Give me something that you've done for yourself because you love yourself.
Oh gosh, just trying new things, exploring new things, building a prayer wall, talking to people, and not being afraid of who I really am. And I'm learning who I really am because my identity was wrapped in a man for years. Because I felt like if I didn't have nobody, I wasn't loved. If I didn't have nobody on my side, nobody would find me worthy to love me. I felt that way. And now, who cares? I love being single. I love going home every night in my bed watching Netflix with my kids, chilling, eating wings. I could go out and have a good time because just like I was telling somebody today, if I had to describe myself, it would be you just had to experience me. I'm an experience. I don't have no definition that you can describe.
What's your name?
Keela Elaine.
What do you do?
I play Stacy in the movie Healed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stand up. Ready? Number ready? Yeah. King 32. Take 9. All right. How you doing?
I'm good. Doing pretty good.
Doing really good? Pretty good.
Pretty really good.
Pretty really good. Okay.
Yeah, really pretty good.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Brianna Young. Call me Bree.
Bree, what do you do?
I am an actress.
All right. And what is your what are you acting in?
I play Tiffany in Healed.
Okay. And I got 2 phones.
Technical difficulties.
Well, you know that you're gonna be able to hear him in the background.
Yeah, I'm gonna need them to shut up.
Quiet on set.
You all up in my table.
I'm sorry, but we're not gonna cut. Because I need to edit. I'll just edit. I need to turn my phone down. And bam. Okay. Let's do that again. What's your name? No. Wait a minute.
I don't know what my name is.
What's your name?
My name is Brianna Young. You can call me Bri.
What do you do?
I am an actress.
What's your most recent work?
I play Tiffany in Healed.
Healed. Healed. How long have you been acting?
If you ask my family, since the moment I popped out of my mom. So there's that. But technically high school.
Since high school.
Yeah.
What got you started?
Watching movies with my family. Watching Eddie Murphy, Raven-Symoné, Jim Carrey, Queen Latifah. Just watching their mannerisms and how they made people like laugh and cry. And Disney movies. I ran out of Disney tape back when VHS was a thing. So just emulating that.
Okay. You're starring in a movie called Healed.
Mm-hmm.
Was that my phone or your phone?
That's you.
Where is it?
Definitely you.
I thought I just turned this one.
Y'all blame me.
I just turned this one all the way
It
down.
was Chris.
I'm worried about opening this bottle.
Right.
Okay.
And they said, put that on.
We need that the clapper.
No, we're gonna keep this one flowing. Keep the energy. No cuts. This is pure raw stuff. So you're in a movie called Healed.
I am. Yes.
And everybody has something that they're healing from or need to be healed of.
Mm-hmm.
Are you healing or in need of healing? Or healed from something?
I mean, everyone is in need of healing in some sort. January of this year, I was in a car accident, so I am healing from it.
Okay.
It could have been a whole lot worse. Like, not a lot of people can say that they walked away from a serious car accident. So the fact that I was able to and I'm still here, I'm healing physically from it. Mentally, emotionally, I'm good. But what I am also healing from is emotional relationships, mainly with my father.
Let's talk about it.
If I can do it without crying.
It's okay.
So, my dad was not in my life. He left when I was 5, I believe. And I don't like to say that like I'm a victim or that I fall into that stereotype of the fatherless child. I had male figures in my life, like my grandpa, Pop. That's my dude. He's my favorite. He actually stepped up and took, I won't say took the place of my father, but he filled that void that was there, that was left by him, and it could have been a whole lot worse. I could have been seeking love from other men who were not in my immediate family, and a lot of people get into that, and I was fortunate and blessed enough to have a great male figure in my life. But you know, it still hurt growing up, like Father's Day's coming around the corner. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love my dad, I'm such a daddy's girl. And I would just be there like sending a card to my grandpa, because that's what it is.
What caused the separation between you and your dad?
I don't know. That would be something you would have to ask him about. I don't know much about him. My mom told me that when he was born, his mom threw him away in the trash, and his grandmother found him and raised him as his child, as her child. So he grew up thinking his grandmama was his mama and his mama was his sister. So when she told me that, I was about 8 or 9, and we sat in a conversation talking about it in the car, and I just remember bits and pieces, but I do remember just feeling like, why didn't he love me? Because I was getting ready to turn 10, and he told me that I had a sister, and he got remarried. Well, he never married my mom, but he got married. And I just always thought, like, oh, so he loved them enough to stay with them. What was wrong with me? And my mom never talked down about my daddy. She always left me to form my own opinion. But she would always say that I can't be mad at him for things that he still needs to heal from himself and acknowledge. And I just need to understand him. But I'm a kid. I don't want to hear that. Like, I didn't understand. So where the part of the healing comes through is I used to hate him. It was a deep-seated hatred for my biological father. I would be so angry because I felt like even though I had my grandpa, my cousins, my uncles, I didn't have, like, my own dad to, like, talk to and be there for. So I hated him for the longest time. And I told my mom that. And she said, you know, he's still your father. And I'm like, Mom, I know, like, from a Christian standpoint, I'm supposed to honor my mother and father. But first, he has to be a father for me to even show him a molecule of respect. So I listened to Tupac, and I can't remember the name of the song, but in one of his lyrics, he said, I can let my anger feel for a stranger. I felt that because I don't know him. So I met him again when I was 10. He paid for the birthday party. I met my little sister. She was so cute. She was 5. And we're just children playing. And I said, I'll have my dad. Best moment of my life. And then I didn't see him again until I was 24. And that's when he wanted me to come and see him. He lives in Seattle. And we still haven't really talked about it, really, but I don't hate him anymore. It's more just died down from this huge, burning, deep-seated anger to more of just a sadness and a pity, because he missed out on me. I feel like I'm a great person. Family and friends, I have a great support system, and he missed out on that. And when I went to go see him and he's trying to be buddy-buddy and like, oh, you're my baby girl, blah, 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 I'm like, I'm grown. I needed this years ago, but I'm not angry anymore. It still hurts. But I can't do anything about it. Not really.
So you're not healed.
Nope, I'm healing. It's a forever process that is going to steps. So it's more like I am indifferent, just about.
Let's talk about pain. You say your father, he wasn't there, and you held back tears while you were speaking of it. What kind of consequences have you had to face because your father wasn't there in regards to your personal life, your relationship with significant others, your relationship with your mom? How have these relationships been affected by your not having a dad around?
My mom, fantastic woman, raised me by herself. She had to be both mom and dad, but that still doesn't take place of having someone there, someone to tell you what to look out for, or just see a healthy relationship. My mom had boyfriends. I didn't really care for any of them because they're not my dad and they wouldn't tell me what to do anyway. So, whomever she was with, I didn't see anything, so I'm like, I don't know you. So when I got into my own personal relationships, with men, I don't trust very well. And my mom taught me to be independent and always to keep a lookout for myself. So I kind of took it a step further because in my brain, if I get close enough to somebody, eventually they're just gonna leave. So when I was in relationships with people, like I can't even think of a boyfriend that I could tell you that I was in love with him. He was just there, a placeholder, someone to just fill a void as a placeholder. And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy their company. We had a great time, but I didn't have like any love for them really. And eventually, I mean, that's on my own personal thing. Eventually, I guess they would feel it and they would leave. But in my brain, it's like, I knew it. So I wasn't disappointed. I was hurt, but I saw it coming. So being in a relationship, like trying to find somebody without my dad there, it's like he doesn't realize the damage that he's done where I can't trust someone the way I want to. And I want to love. I think everyone deserves love. But I also don't want to feel like I am dependent upon a man for anything. I can pay for my own stuff. I can cook. I can clean. I can do what I need to do to survive. And I know men are supposed to be the providers in relationships. And I guess I gotta take a step back to find that person who is a provider. But at the same time, I'm like, my guard is up because you're not about to come into my life ruining my peace just so that you can do what you want to do, get tired, and then leave. At that point, you could have just left me alone, and I could have just been doing what I was doing without you.
So, the healing has so many layers for you. Trust is probably one of the biggest, because if you don't trust, then it's hard to move forward in a lot of areas of your life. Mm-hmm. How do you go about healing that wound of distrust without having to reconcile things with your father?
It sounds cliche, but honestly, reading the scripture and asking questions. I talked to my grandpa about some of the things. He and my grandma have been together for 50 years. They've been married. And I try to look at their relationship from an analytical point to see what worked. Like my grandma, I feel like we are kind of the same. She can be very volatile at times and, just, I don't want to say the naggy wife, but my grandma nags. And my grandfather just takes it in strides. And he's still there. Like, how do you keep a relationship with somebody, not even just for 50 years, but like for 2 minutes? I didn't get it. I didn't understand. And it was trust. And healing from that, I am working on myself because it's not the other person's fault that I have trust issues. It's not their fault that I have built a persona in my head of who I think they are, and I assume that they're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's not fair to that person. Usually I am right, but I am learning to not do that if I want to find the person that God has for me in my life.
Do you trust yourself?
At times. At times. I say that because there was one man that I can say unequivocally I could feel that I was in love with him, and I trusted him to an extent. I wasn't fully like just dive in and oh lovey-dovey, I'm in love. I did trust him with my feelings. I never told anyone about how I really felt towards my father, my relationship with him, my mom. I never felt comfortable enough. I felt comfortable to share that, and I noticed that when I'm comfortable with someone, then I can start to trust, and it peels back a layer of trust each time. And this relationship, I'm using air quotes because it's what the children call situationships now. That was on and off for about 6 years, and he didn't choose me. And that hurt and broke my trust. Not for anybody else, but it hurt for a hot minute because I trusted him with all that I was able to give, and he still did not choose me, and I won't say he walked away. I had to love myself enough to notice that I wasn't getting what I wanted. He couldn't give me what I needed. So I had to walk away for my mental and my emotional because I knew that that was not healthy. And that's not what I really wanted in a relationship. And walking away still kind of hurts, but it's a dim hurt.
In that situation, was he a boyfriend, father figure?
How do you mean?
You know, a lot of times when we're missing something from our childhood, we find it in a relationship, in certain attributes that we didn't get in our father or our mother. We try to find that in our partner. So did he hold any attributes, any characteristics of your ideas of your father?
The resounding idea is he stayed for however long I had him for. He was there. If I needed him for something, he was there. If I needed to talk about something or I had a hard day, he was right there at my house, taking me to my favorite restaurant, buying me my favorite snacks, cuddling with me, watching my favorite movies, and just his companionship was that deep that he just stayed, and that made me feel comfortable and safe in that. I had everything else. I have love. I love myself. My mom, my family, they gave me that self-confidence, and they gave me that love and that aspect. I trust them. I know all kinfolk ain't family folk, but I love and trust them. And he was very close to that full trust where I was bringing him around my family, and he was being enmeshed with me and my family. And that's how I thought that everything was good. It felt like I could finally just breathe. That's how it felt. I felt like I was almost complete. I say almost because I know he wasn't fully mine, and I was just waiting for that last bit. I had everything checked off, and it was just that little one box. He needs to choose me. This needs to be official. And then I would be, but.
So for 6 years you were on the chopping block waiting to get chose. Why didn't he choose you?
Don't know. I asked him.
Wait a minute. For 6 years, you were in a relationship or a situationship. Are you saying that he was with someone else while he was with you?
No.
What was it that had his attention besides you, where he couldn't be totally yours within a 6-year period? It was a situationship as opposed to a relationship. Why didn't it turn into a relationship?
It's a great question, and I asked him that several times. I know they say don't let a man tell you more than once that he doesn't want you, but I needed an answer, and I would not get an answer. I would always get platitudes. I want to be with you. I love being around you. I love you. I love our friendship. I love just you being here with me. I love us. Okay, why aren't we in a relationship? He would change the subject. Or he would say, something in my gut. I don't know what it is, but it's just something in my gut. Like, it's been 6 years. What do you mean something in your gut? I know. I'm here. I need your reassurance. I need you to tell me something. I never would get a straight answer, no matter how much I picked at him to tell me or give him an ultimatum. I never got it. And when those times I would ask him and I still wasn't getting my answer, we wouldn't talk for a few weeks maybe, and then he would come back. I'm sorry, I really miss us. And I don't want to say I was desperate for anything, for that type of love, but we came to a decision that we wanted to be in each other's lives, because we felt that when we were apart, it was painful for both of us. And we had those conversations. We've had conversations about being together, going on trips together, if we had gotten a place together, or, family. We talked about it, but I just never really got my answer that I wanted.
Y'all, are you and he the same age?
Yeah, he's about a year or two older than me.
And I guess this is where daddies come in, and this is why you're healing. Because the daddy would have pinpointed the bullshit a long time ago. Now, 6 years in this relationship, let's not even focus on the relationship anymore. Let's focus on you some more. All right?
Okay.
We understand Dad was gone, and that's a big wound open. And we understand that trust is something that you're working on. It's something that you lack because of the inconsistency of your father. What else are you healing from?
You had said it earlier, do I trust myself? I'm healing from that because the situation that I went through, I doubted everything. I doubted my choices. I doubted my feelings. I just felt like I was stupid. I felt like I was not good enough. And I won't say that I didn't deserve what I was looking for. I just felt like I would never find it. But all those doubts were just me in my head, because I know I can feel that God has something greater for me. But as a human being, it's still hard to kind of conceptualize that and make it materialize, because even though I know it's there, I'm still like, well, I'm still here. I still don't have this. This is what I want. And I can almost taste it. But I just don't have it yet. And when I doubt myself like that, I feel like I'm also doubting God. Like I'm saying, like, I don't trust in his plan. I don't trust the Lord. And that makes me feel even more guilty, because as a Christian, trust the Lord. He's got your back. He's always there for you. And it's like, I know that. Sometimes I just can't verbalize how exactly I'm feeling, and just wanting to sit in my depression about it makes me just like, let me just sit here for a moment. Let me complain about it. Just let me get it out, and then I'll feel better. And when I talked about with my friends and my family about it, and they're like, you got this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I know I got it. I don't want to hear that right now. I want to sit here and just stew and work it through that way. But you can't stay in that place. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I'm still healing from. I can't stay in that negative space because I'm blocking whatever God has for me.
How often do you suffer from depression?
Well, 2 years ago, I found out that I went to a psychiatrist and they diagnosed me with moderate depression. They said the only reason they didn't diagnose me as severe is because I don't have thoughts of suicide or harming myself. And that's the only reason. And I was joking with my mom. I said, I don't think about it. Not really. But sometimes if I got a knife, it's just like, I wonder what it would feel like. But I don't do it because I know that the absence that I have in people's lives, especially my mom, I'm her only child. And I know if I were to do something that's selfish, it would devastate my mama. And doing that, I could not do that to her. She's all I got. I'm not all she has, but I am her baby. So if I took that away from her, I don't even think I could forgive myself in death. I just couldn't. So yeah, moderate depression. I don't have to be medicated for it. Taking the medication for my back since I was in the car accident, it has made it a little bit worse because I don't feel motivated to do anything. Like going to work, I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I have no energy to deal with other people and their problems today. And I just want to lay in bed. And when I talked to my psychiatrist, I told her that there were days that I would lay in bed 12 hours and not think anything of it. And I was like, I miss those days. And she was like, that's depression and that's not healthy. And I was like, oh. After I had those 12-hour episodes, I would feel fine. But I can't do that anymore.
Well, I'm here to interview you, but you're a selfless person. You put others before you. So much so that you're not thinking about like, damn, if I kill myself, I'm gonna go to hell, or I'm gonna do this or that. You like, nah, I can't die because my mama. Like you put somebody else before you. That some people call that selflessness. I say it's honorable, especially when it keeps you living. Your life is obviously power, and when you have a life that's injected with power, ordained for power, and given this thing that's gonna change lives, it's always a heavy burden and a heavy push from whatever you may call the opposition to have you destroy yourself because it cannot destroy you, right? So it uses your high intelligence to overthink, underthink, think around to the point to where you're exhausted from thinking and you want to just stop. But guess what? The blessing is this. And I'm sorry, this is an interview, but the blessing is this. Every time you go through and come out, you're stronger. And every time you go back in and come out, you're stronger. And at some point, you're going to go in and you're going to realize, well, if I go in and I close that door and I close these windows and I drop that over here, I never have to come back to this shit. And then you'll go back out and you'll be strong and you'll conquer. And I want to say this. I'm saying, I'm sorry, but you're already there. A lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say, well, if she could go through it and still be as strong as she is, I can too. But they need to look at this and understand that you're already through it. You're done with the dark days. Because you have released it, you're releasing it in front of the world right now so that you don't have to hold it in again. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you've already taken the appropriate step to move beyond where you thought you were. Now I'm done preaching. Let's talk about the future Bree. Where does a healed Brianna, where does she position herself in this world 5 years from today?
I'm acting full time. I've had that dream since I was 5. I've been telling my mom every day since I was a child, I'm going to be an actress. I don't necessarily, I mean, having the fame and the fortune would be nice, but just being able to do what I love doing, what I know I was put on this earth to do, that gives me joy. So even if I don't care if 2 people watch it or 125 million people watch it, as long as I'm able to do and get my message or the message of the writer and director out there, as long as one person connects to it, I feel like I've done my job. That gives me my purpose.
What's your name?
My name is Brianna Young.
And what do you do?
And I'm an actress.
What's your role in this movie?
I play Tiffany.
And the name of the movie?
You.